Hello and welcome back to Film Exaggeration.
Oh hell yeah, it's about a month away until Spider-Man Homecoming and I am so fucking excited. After seeing how awesome he was in Civil War, I can't wait to see what Tom Holland brings in his own movie. I haven't read the comics, but Spider-Man is probably my favorite superhero of all time, mostly because he's like what I see myself as a superhero. A bit nerdy and quiet when out of the costume, but a sarcastic loudmouth when in it.
And with the Web Swingers' new movie coming out, I say we have an entire Spider-Man month. And we'll start with Sam Raimi's original movie that started the comic book movie boom we're in right now.
Released in May 2002, Spider-Man had a very troubled production history that included switches in directors and writers. Hell, even James Cameron was brought in at one point. It's a long history that would take way too long to explain here, so if you want to find out more, check out Adam J's video. But eventually, directing duties went to Sam Raimi, known for his Evil Dead trilogy, and writing went to David Koepp, known for the first two Jurassic Park movies. And when it was finally released, it was praised by everyone. Critics loved it, audiences loved it, everyone loved it. It made a shit ton of money and became the 7th highest grossing movie ever at the time. And while X-Men did prove that comic book movies could be successful 2 years earlier, Spider-Man is pretty much the reason comic book movies are so big right now.
But does it hold up after all these years? Let's find out. This is Spider-Man.
So we open with Peter Parker, played by Tobey Maguire, running to catch a bus, but it takes Mary Jane Watson, played by Kirsten Dunst, to get the driver to stop.
So, he's fired.
So Peter is smart, but isn't a very popular student, so much so that even the most stereotypical female nerd character I've ever seen doesn't want to sit with him, which is a little weird. I mean, he doesn't really look that geeky. I mean, yeah, he has glasses and is a bit scrawny, so I guess we're going into pop star logic, where the smarter you are, the less popular you are. So the class is heading to a genetics laboratory for a field trip, and while they head in, one more student arrives, that being Harry Osborn, played by James Franco, who is being dropped off by his father, Norman Osborn, played by William Dafoe.
Hi, Harry.
Harry! Won't you be needing this?
Thanks, Ted. Peter, may I introduce my father, Norman Osborn?
Heard so much about you.
Great honor to meet you, sir.
Harry tells me you're quite the science whiz. You know, I'm something of a scientist myself.
So if Peter and Harry are best friends, how has he never met Norman before?
So this lab is doing research on spiders as they give us some exposition on how awesome they are. Peter has a bit of a crush on Mary Jane as he tries to get a picture of her for the school paper. One of the genetically mutant spiders that managed to escape because the science lab is incompetent dangles down, and then his CG counterpart bites Peter. And then the spider just leaves. Meanwhile, Norman is showing off some of his inventions to military personnel that really the army couldn't possibly use. I mean, why use a glider? Yeah, it would get you places faster, but it would make you an open target. I know I'm saying this in 2017 when we have drones, but even in 2002 I couldn't see much use for these. And apparently they agree as they threaten to move their business elsewhere. Peter goes home to his Aunt May and Uncle Ben, but begins to feel dizzy as he heads upstairs.
Dude, go to the hospital. You were bitten by a spider in a genetics laboratory. You could be dying.
Norman, deciding he needs to take a risk, tests a performance-enhancing chemical to prove that it will work. However, instead of turning into Captain America, he instead...
Back to formula.
Yeah, but Peter seems to be doing well. He could see without his glasses, grew some muscle, and his hands stick to anything. And what's his reaction to this?
Okay.
Yeah, if I woke up in peak physical condition with perfect eyesight, my reaction would probably also be, yeah, alright.
Oh, and he can also do this.
Wow.
Also, I'd like to point out, That was real. That wasn't CG.
Great reflexes.
Wait, reflexes? That's your reaction to that?
And he can shoot web out of his wrist, and accidentally throws a lunch tray at the local school bully in a polo shirt, who also happens to be Mary Jane's boyfriend, Flash Thompson. But thankfully, he also has heightened sensibilities and super speed.
Is no one gonna question this? No one?
So Peter runs out of the school and, using his new powers, climbs up a wall, gets his CG double to leap across buildings, and shoots out more web. What happens if he needs a shot? When the doctor puts the needle in, instead of blood coming out, webbing? He returns home and realizes he forgot about helping his uncle with painting the kitchen, but then he's distracted by Mary Jane arguing with her father. So he goes out to talk to her.
I wanna act on stage.
Really? Well, that's perfect. You're awesome in all the school plays.
Really?
Yeah. I cried like a baby when you played Cinderella.
Peter, that was first grade.
Oh, shut up. Flash comes by with his new car, and so Peter decides to buy one himself, but he needs some money. So he signs up for a wrestling competition where the winner gets $3,000. He makes a costume and heads down with his Uncle Ben, who wants to have a talk with him.
Pete, look, you're changing. I know. I went through exactly the same thing at your age.
No, not exactly.
Remember, with great power comes great responsibility.
Are you afraid that I'm gonna turn into some kind of criminal? Quit worrying about me, okay? Something's different. I'll figure it out. Stop lecturing me, please.
I don't mean to lecture and I don't mean to preach. And I know I'm not your father.
Then stop pretending to be.
Dude, fuck off. There's no reason for you to act like this when earlier in the movie, you and your uncle were really close.
Peter signs up for the wrestling match. Wait a minute. Octavia Spencer? And the match is hosted by Bruce Campbell? And it turns out he has to fight the Macho Man.
Hey, Freak Show! You're going nowhere!
Oh, yeah!
That's a cute outfit. Did your husband give it to you?
Oh, no!
So Peter wins, but only ends up getting $100 for his efforts.
I need that money.
I missed the part where that's my problem.
As he leaves, someone comes in and robs the place, and as he runs down the hall, Peter doesn't stop him.
You could have taken that guy apart. Now he's gonna get away with my money.
I missed the part where that's my problem.
Okay, to be fair, that was a badass line.
Peter leaves, but when he gets out, notices a group of people huddled around. As he goes up, he realizes it's his uncle who's been shot by a carjacker. And based on his facial expressions, I can't tell if he's sad, angry, or trying not to laugh. Man, Pixar's animation just keeps getting better and better. It almost looks real.
Don't hurt me. Just give me a chance. Just give me a chance!
What about my uncle? Did you give him a chance? Did you?
Yes, thank you guys, I can remember 3 minutes ago. The guy falls out the window and dies. We then see the general from earlier as he is seeing an experiment, which I think is that thing from Aliens that every other sci-fi movie is ripped off, but Norman rushes in on his glider and kills them. As Peter and the others graduate, we learn he will be moving into a place with Harry in the fall, and that Mary Jane dumped Flash because, well, he's a dick.
Dude, you had this!
So through a montage, we see that Peter has taken the job of New York City's superhero, stopping robberies and, well, stopping more robberies, because, well, it's New York City, what else are you gonna do?
Guy with 8 hands. Sounds hot.
Lucy Lawless, stop foreshadowing the villain of the second movie.
So as Spider-Man becomes big news, it reaches the desk of Daily Bugle publisher J. Jonah Jameson, played by J.K. Simmons. This guy is fucking awesome.
Tomorrow morning, Spider-Man, page 1 with a decent picture this time. Move Conway to page 7.
There's a problem with page 7.
I make it page 8 and give him 10% off. I make it 5%.
That can't be done.
Get out of here!
J.K. Simmons needs to be in all of the movies.
Peter sees Mary Jane in the city as it appears she's working in a diner while trying to break into acting.
Don't tell Harry.
Don't tell Harry.
Aren't you guys living together? We're going out, didn't he tell you?
When the hell did that happen? Yeah, screw it. Peter starts taking pictures of himself for the paper and gets a job as a freelance photographer.
They're crap. Crap. Mega crap. I'll give you $200 for all of them.
Hello, Kevin Feige? Yeah, listen, if you don't put J.K. Simmons in all future Spider-Man movies, I will come to your house, drown you in barbecue sauce, and eat you! Hello?
Back with Norman, he is told that the board of directors will be selling the company after a recent spike in profits, and he will lose his job within the next month. At the World Unity Fair, Peter is taking pictures as Harry and Mary Jane talk on a balcony with all the board members. You could see where this is going.
My god, the skeletons from Spy Kids 2 look more realistic.
This is Norman in his costume, the Green Goblin. That is one of the dumbest looking things I've seen in a while. And this is our villain.
Well, okay, he may look stupid, but maybe he can make up for it by being badass.
Watch out!
What is it with 2002 blockbusters and the more money you have, the worse your special effects look? Oh god, forget visuals, I don't know what's worse. The obviously fake dummy or the fact that her hair is blowing in the completely wrong direction.
So Norman seems to realize he is suffering from a split personality and killed the board members. Well, now that they're dead and you're completely safe, there's no more reason for you to continue on with this Green Goblin thing.
Jameson, you slime!
Wait, why is he still doing this?
Join me. Imagine what we could accomplish together.
Accomplish what? I thought you just wanted to save your company. Why do you want to take over the world?
Oh right, evil. Just evil. No clear motivation, he's just doing evil things because he's evil. So as the Daily Bugle turns on Spider-Man, Mary Jane is followed into an alley by some men coincidentally right after she was talking to Peter.
You have a knack for getting in trouble.
You have a knack for saving my life. I think I have a superhero stalker.
Oh, shut up. So after Spidey saves a baby from a fire, also I'm pretty sure even if it survived the fireball, the explosion would have destroyed its eardrums. The Green Goblin reappears to ask him if he wants to join him. He refuses and they fight. We get some B-level bullet time effects and Spidey escapes. But while at dinner, Norman notices the cut on Peter's arm that he got while fighting and now realizes that Peter is Spider-Man.
Parker must be educated.
What do I do?
Instruct him in the matters of loss and pain. Make him suffer.
Yes?
And then grant his wish.
He's on the move.
The heart, Osborn. First, we attack his heart.
Later that night, the Green Goblin attacks Aunt May and sends her to the hospital. Why don't you just kill Peter while he's sleeping? Mary Jane admits to Peter that she has a crush on Spider-Man, and Peter says that he talks about her whenever he takes pictures of him.
I said, the great thing about MJ is when you look in her eyes and she's looking back in yours, everything feels not quite normal.
Oh, shut up. Harry reveals to Norman that Peter is in love with Mary Jane, and this gives Norman an idea. Kidnap her.
The itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout.
And you're not even a funny villain. Alright, I know I'm gonna get a lot of shit for this, but I have to say it. This guy is a worse villain than Mr. Freeze.
As bad as Freeze was, at least Arnold got a few laughs and at least he had motivation. He was trying to save his wife. This guy puts innocent children in danger because villain. But Spidey manages to save both Mary Jane and the children, and I don't care what comic book logic you throw at me, there's no way that web would hold them all up. Although I will say this scene is pretty suspenseful.
It's time to die!
You got a pick on a guy trying to save a bunch of kids? Oh yeah, I got some for your ass! You mess with Spidey, you mess with New York! You mess with one of us, you mess with all of us!
Oh, post 9/11, you were so cheesy.
The kids and Mary Jane are saved as the Goblin and Spidey fight. They land in an abandoned building, and again, this climax is pretty cool.
You've spun your last web, Spider-Man. Had you not been so selfish, your little girlfriend's death would have been quick and painless, but now that you've really pissed me off, I'm gonna finish her nice and slow.
Oh god, please kill him. Not because he's the bad guy, but because this movie would be so much better without him.
Godspeed, Spider-Man.
Oh.
What the hell just happened?
Peter. Don't tell Harry.
He won't, but the butler will. What the fuck?
So Spidey brings Norman's body home where Harry sees him, and now he blames Spidey for his father's death and swears vengeance on him. Mary Jane tells Peter she loves him, but as all this is going on and the movie wraps up, I have to wonder, did anyone catch and or kill that spider? Because if not, then there's probably gonna be more Spider-Men/women soon, and all of them might not be nice.
Whatever life holds in store for me, I will never forget these words. With great power comes great responsibility. This is my gift, my curse. Who am I? I'm Spider-Man.
No?
I'll be honest, this movie is better than I remember it being when I saw it 3 years ago. It has some decent action, the characters and acting are mostly fine, and it has a lot of heart. You could tell that everyone making this is having a great time and wants to make the best movie they can. However, my favorite part of the movie is just the look of it. Not so much the effects, but the scope. Everything in this movie feels huge, and I just love looking at it. However, there are some major problems. The dialogue is awful, some of the special effects do not hold up. It's way too campy and over the top, and while Tobey Maguire is fine as Peter Parker, as Spider-Man he's really dull and never feels convincing. But the worst part is the villain. Whenever Dafoe is in the suit, he is awful. He looks stupid, sounds stupid, has no clear motivation, he's not scary, he's not funny, he just sucks.
But perhaps they can learn from their mistakes. The second movie got even better reviews than the first, so we'll check that one out next week. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.